Hey everybody, welcome to the Nightly Grind. Tonight is February 17th, 2017. As always, I am T-Bone, and with us tonight we have Tornsol.
How's it going?
Ice. Okay. Shadow.
As I stares deeply into the camera.
Benthans.
Hey everyone.
And Saul. So tonight we're going to start off with the Pokemon Go update, which was released this morning, I believe, or late last night, something like that.
You're not talking, so.
Yesterday evening.
Yesterday evening. Yeah, I wasn't sure when the update actually went live. Thank you. So they updated Pokemon Go to include more than 80 Pokemon from Gen 2. They also include new evolutions to get the Gen 2 stuff. What else did they add? They added new gameplay encounters. Pokemon will react in new ways as you're trying to catch them. They also added new item carousel. So from the encounter screen, you can click on to get a different Pokeball or different candies or whatever. Is that what they're called? Candies?
They added berries. Berries.
Candies.
Thank you.
Berries.
Oh, the berries, yeah.
Candies are what
Candies.
you evolve with.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they also
yeah, that's right.
increased the candies with evolutions. If you catch a Pidgeotto or second form or whatever of an evolution, it'll give you 5. If you catch a third evolution form, it'll give you 10.
They also added 2 new berries. The berries are Nanab berries, which slows their movement, and Pinap or Pinap. It looks like a pineapple. I got one of those, and that doubles the amount of candy that you get if you catch it on the next attempt. So those would be really good during the events, like the Valentine's event they just got done with.
I also heard that some of the fruits Pokemon will like or dislike, so they'll be happy or angry if you throw it at them.
So they'll reject them now.
They better not be angry about pineapple.
Oh, would you be? You'd be pretty pissed off if someone threw a pineapple at you.
Fruit of the gods. It's the fruit of the gods.
They also added a whole bunch of stuff to the wardrobe: new hats, shirts, pants. What else? Socks you can choose, shoes, glasses, hat. And I said hats. Some of them are free. They do have a bunch of free ones. You can change colors from the base model stuff, and there's a couple of new colors and stuff. And then they added stuff that you can purchase. The purchasable stuff ranges from like 80 gold, which is pretty cheap, up to like 500 gold for one jacket that I saw, which is crazy expensive. That's like $5. That was ridiculous. But the Gen 2 stuff is all over the place. I caught today a Hoppip, Spinnerack, a Wooper, Murkrow, Ferret, Natu, Hoot, a Slowpoke, but that wasn't Gen 2.
Actually, it is.
Is it?
No,
I was gonna say I don't think so.
it's
No,
evolution.
that's Gen 1.
I've had that one for sure.
Slowbro.
A Sentret, which is the first evolution of the Ferret, and then a Lydian, which came from. I got 25 candies of the Lediba. It's like a ladybug. Lediba. So that's what I got today. So there's a whole bunch of new stuff out there. Thoughts?
Sounds like you just made up a whole bunch of words.
That's pretty much what they've done.
It's kind of.
The fleebity flabba and the jibbity
It
jabba.
feels smoother from last time I played it to now, so there isn't difference with the updates, and I like that they added the new Pokemon. I'm kind of not happy with the fact that some of the Pokemon actually can only be caught at nighttime and daytime, but the nighttime Pokemon are being caught in the daytime. So that kind of, it's not a huge thing, but it's something.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see them not having a night and day difference. I mean, that's kind of
Well, when you're outside, or the game actually changes the night and day.
right.
So
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
should be able to put the code in for that, maybe.
I liked when they added the daily bonuses, and that was a while ago. I thought that
Oh,
was
yeah,
a good
that-
idea
that
to
did-
keep
that
people
brought
coming back. I like that. Pretty much the only purchasable thing that they added was the wardrobes, and that's completely cosmetic, so I'm okay with that. And they did add some free stuff as well to that. But yeah, it's not that different, but they did add a whole bunch of new stuff, so that you won't be seeing the same 3 types of things, and then every once in a while you see something different.
I have 500 revives.
I have no idea what it's like in the city, but out here you get a ton of useless stuff.
Not
you see
so
the same 3
urban.
things all the time. At least that's how it is here. Anybody else catch anything cool?
I caught. No, that's really it.
I got a lot of the same stuff as you, but I also got a Remoraid. I don't know, some kind of weird fish piranha looking thing.
Hmm.
I'm not really up to snuff on Gen 2. I don't really know much about them.
Snuffle is a
The one thing I noticed, and they added these special things that apparently you get at Pokestops. Where is it? Oh, I upgraded my Horsea to a Seadra today, and to evolve it, you can evolve it now, I guess, to a third tier.
Yep,
And
so you
it
can-
requires a special thing that you get at a Pokestop, some sort of water candy or something.
They're,
You also need
they're special
100 Horsea candy.
evolution stone type things.
Right. It looks like a
Some
yeah. It
of
looks
them
like a drop of
require
water.
in order to evolve them. Like I think Onyx to get him to Steelix, you have to have
a
that
metal coat.
stone. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need metal coat, and you need him to be level 25 or something like that.
So whatever is above Seadra, you need the
Seadra,
special thing to
Kingdra.
get it.
Kingdra? Kingdra.
Kingdra.
It's
Yeah.
a water dragon Pokemon. You need a dragon scale or something like that
There
on
was
it.
another one I saw that had that too. I can't
Or you had
remember
to
what
trade
it
it.
is off the top of my head. But yeah, so that was the first one I saw that. So that's kind of neat. But they are forcing you to go to Pokestops, and I don't really have Pokestops near me, so it's kind
Start
of annoying.
walking.
It's like there's nowhere to walk to get it. Like I would have to walk miles and miles to even get
He's right.
drive somewhere and then walk
He's right by
around.
the edge of the earth. So
It's kind of
you know
it's
how
like
that
that's
goes.
way beyond my gameplay of Pokemon Go. I just like pull it out once a day, catch something, and put it away.
It's hard to play out there on the cliff.
He only pulls it out once a day.
So yeah, that's the extent of my Pokemon Go. It's not really worth it for me. But you know, if I'm ever at a Starbucks or something, I guess I could spin the wheel, see what I get.
Spin the win.
So Humble Bundle came out with the Humble Freedom Bundle recently, and they're giving the money to the ACLU, Doctors Without Borders, and the International Rescue Committee. I don't know anything about the International Rescue Committee, but
It's
obviously,
basically to go against Trump's ban.
yeah, it's against the travel ban essentially. But it includes 65 games at this point. At least they've been adding more since I got it. $30 is the price. It includes games like some indie games like Super Brothers, World of Goo, also games like Stardew Valley, The Witness, which I've played and really liked. I gave that one to my brother. It has graphic novels,
Walking
audiobooks.
simulators.
What was that?
Walking simulators.
The Witness is a puzzle game. It's like Myst, that kind of. It's in that vein.
It's a walking simulator.
It's a puzzle game.
Your dog. Get a room, you
Also
two.
has audiobooks, and there's also like coding books I noticed in there, and there was like a privacy digital textbook. It's very there's a wide range of things in this bundle, but there's a crap load of stuff in it. So it's pretty interesting, and they've already raised at least 4.7 million. They're probably way above that at this point. So it's worth checking out. It's a pretty good one. In more relevant
They
news,
were asking for 300,000, and they got that much.
well, I think they were matching up to 300,000, right?
No, I think they were asking up to 300,000.
I thought I read it as they were going to match up to 300, and anything over that, obviously, they're going to give.
Oh, there's one way to find out is just go into the site quick.
I guess.
Oh no, you're right. Up to.
See, I read things. This list is really long of games.
Either way, all the money still goes to charity.
Yeah,
but
the money still goes.
Doctors
to charity,
Doctors Without Borders is having problems right now. The hepatitis C medicine they've been getting has been bunk.
obviously. They're at 5.4 million right now,
Yep, it just went up again.
so they've been crushing it on this one. I mean, there's some
And
really good
it looks
games.
like even
Day of
they
the
added
Tentacle is one of them. For
They
those
just
of
added
you who
more.
like old,
For all you point and click
all
people.
you point and click adventures, that's a really good one.
Super Meat Boy.
But
oh wait,
Stardew
no.
Valley and The Witness, those two together are at least $30. Octodad is in there. I've played that one, so I gave that one away.
Oh, they changed some of the games up because they ran out of keys for
Yeah,
Steam.
they ran out of keys. Yeah, I saw that. There's a lot of games in here.
And books, and yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, it's something that actually goes 100% to the charities, not to developers or anything.
Yeah, and if you only want to give to like one of them, there's a slider when you actually purchase it, and you can choose who gets how much. So if you're like, fuck Doctors Without Borders, I want to go to the ACLU or whatever, you can actually do that.
That's so nice.
Or if you only want to give like 33% and then 50% and whatever, you can do it that way. So it's a good one. Check it out. So the developer Starbreeze, who we know from Payday and Payday 2, has announced the beginning of development for Payday 3 in their year-end report. And this is the quote directly from the report. It is with great satisfaction that we also can announce that Payday 3 production is officially initiated and at full design stage. I'd like to especially clarify that this project will enjoy as much time as we deem needed. It will be done when it's done. This is our single most important brand today and the cornerstone of our business. And we will treat it accordingly. Updates in the near future might be scarce and far between. You simply don't rush Payday 3. Which I like to hear.
Won't rush it, Shadow.
So it's not like we need to have this done by Christmas. When it's done, it's done. Which I appreciate.
Yeah,
I wonder if they got to have some new mechanics in that game.
Well, I think they're gonna take their time on getting all that done.
Yeah.
Straightened out.
it's a fun fucking game. They definitely made 2 very good. They've had
And
some
updated.
issues. They've had some issues with how they did things.
Their PR, yeah, was terrible.
Yeah, because they originally made comments about how they weren't going to charge anything for DLC, and then they ended up charging for DLC. But
Oh no, that wasn't the issue. The issue was they said they were not going to do microtransactions on buying weapons and stuff like that. It wasn't about the DLC on.
And people
originally-
lost their shit.
Originally, at the time the game was being discussed, they were talking about that, but the developer basically came out and said that they didn't want to do it. They were forced to do it through their publishing company or some shit like that. I don't know, but there's.
Oh, so they
there's
actually
always-
spoke out.
Yeah, they
'Cause
basically
they were quiet for months about it.
Yeah, they basically came out, and that's one of the things that they really pushed hard about. Like, God, it's been a while. I think it's almost been a year, but they even came out and said they didn't want to do a lot of the stuff they had to do, but they were forced to do it, and I think they ended up buying the rights to it 100% for themselves, so they wouldn't have to do it in the future or something like that. I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
And that makes the game company good when they actually say they don't want to make.
well, if you
They got
really
a lot of shit for it.
if you look at a lot of the DLCs and stuff like that, most of the time the company that's making the game doesn't want to do it. They're usually forced to do it by the publishing company because the publishing company still wants to make money.
Corporate.
Yeah. So
Well, and sometimes it does help the developer, create things while they're retooling to make so like the art department or something isn't just sitting there or get fired or whatever and have to be rehired later.
Well, that makes sense, but like if you're gonna, like, I can understand that, but like do what Witcher does, where the big DLCs, the big ones, the actual expansions, pay for those.
DLC, Witcher doesn't. All of their DLC was free.
Nope, there are 3 big ones.
3 big ones that are actually pay.
Yep, but they were actually like extra 40 hours to the game
Well,
each.
Project Red does things a tad bit different than the majority of the market.
But they also had 22 free DLCs that were still large.
Significant in themselves, but I'd be interested in seeing. I really enjoyed Payday. I thought it was a really fun game. I'd like to see it maybe get better, out of the 4-player, you and 3 friends, type of mentality.
Maybe increase the AI.
I don't know, man, because if you played on the higher difficulties, the AI kind of fucked you. So you really had to work as a team on higher difficulties.
Yeah.
No,
Higher
I'm
difficulties,
talking
it was like they had aimbot. There was nothing you could do about it.
No,
Well,
it's
it's not
not
even
even
that
the
they had
AI, like our AI friendly.
Oh well, it wasn't even that bad. I mean, honestly, it's just like Left 4 Dead on that aspect. If you're playing by yourself, you're kind of missing half the fun of the game, And if you could stealth, most of the time, if you were playing it by yourself, you were doing stealth missions, and the AI just kind of stood around and looked stupid.
Hi.
But I mean, from a gameplay standpoint, I think they really did a damn good job with the second, just because they had the action aspect of it was great, and the stealth aspect of it was fantastic. And there were missions where we did. I think Ben and Torn did stealth missions on that, and it was just we'd spend 40 minutes trying to stealth the mission, and it was entertaining the entire time.
I remember I did a mission with you guys, and you're like, "Stay here." Okay.
Yeah, sit here, shut up.
Don't move.
I start moving. It's like, okay, move. I start moving. I didn't do anything.
That's why we told you to stay here and not move.
So you said to move at one point because I had to keep moving up to help.
But I mean, some of those were. I mean, it was a really fun game. It got a little bit boring in some aspects, but certain maps were fun. And
I just
They
like
did it
watching
right.
with heavy armor and everything, and just get to the safe bus.
so, but I mean, it was. Only thing I could think they could do with it to make it better would be try to keep the game the same way and maybe make like a hyper realistic mode where it's like not where it's literally set up in waves, but like I don't know. That's half the game, so
Yeah.
it'll probably end up just being a graphics update and that's it.
Maybe you have to
Well,
actually.
well, I mean, it sounds like they're taking it seriously. The game is certainly showing its age, and I read that they finally implemented where. Remember how when the game first came out, you had your room or your strategy room or whatever it was called,
Yeah.
your heist room, and
Yeah.
like nothing ever came of it. Apparently, they added it finally. Where you can customize it, but apparently it's not very well done.
It was that was like I said,
so
that was something that
sort
was
of
just
slapped on.
yeah, that was really nothing in the long run. I mean, I don't know.
It was just weird because it was the first few, the single player part of it, they sort of introduced you and they were like, here's your heist room and you'll be able to customize it later. And then you never heard about it again. Apparently
think
they
it's
did
one-
add it.
I think it was one of those ideas that was like, it sounds really cool on paper,
Yeah.
and when like
We'll figure it out later.
you're discussing it, but when you actually implement it, it's not really cool at all. It's kind of like
Yeah.
stupid. But
So I think maybe things like that is what, when they say we're going to get it done when we get it done, maybe they're talking about things like that.
I mean,
We're
I
not
think
going to just rush it out the door because we need to get it done.
I
it
also
was-
like. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I enjoyed it. I still enjoy playing it now and then. I just didn't, it's also one of the things we're going to be possibly discussing in a bit. It's another game where it's been out for a while now, and they've never really stopped supporting it.
Mhm.
They constantly balance things. They're constantly messing with the skills and abilities, and they're constantly tweaking stuff. So even though realistically it's a 4-op versus co-op, it's co-op versus AI. There's no PvP or anything in there. They've constantly balanced things to make it to where it's fun to play, no matter what you're using, no matter what weapons you're using. It's they all in all, you can tell the developer really likes the title. They're not just releasing crap. They're actually putting a lot of thought and effort into it. So, and depending on how you play your specialist kit, how do you play your the card stuff and like all the different stuff, it completely changes the way you play the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a lot of customizability in it.
mhm.
So a surprising amount.
Yeah.
Anything else on that?
Nope.
Okay.
Devin, did you see that Guns of Icarus is in that Freedom Bundle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
Terrible.
Activision has announced that a remastered Crash Bandicoot collection will hit the PlayStation 4 on June 30th. It's going to be $40. It's going to include the first 3 games, which is
Crash.
Whiplash, Crash 1 and 2. Isn't that what they're called? Wasn't the first one just 1
Crash
and 2?
Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2,
2. And then
Crash
Whiplash.
Bandicoot Racing.
I
and
think
Crash
3
Bandicoot 3 Time Warp or
I
something
think
like that.
it's Whiplash, isn't it? I think it's Whiplash. Anyways.
One of them is Time Warp. I don't know.
It's also going to feature new lighting, animations, cinematics, enhanced for 4K and the PS4 Pro, and a fully remastered soundtrack. It'll also have full analog stick support, along with new unified save and checkpoint systems. I have no idea what that means. But
I saw some of the gameplay footage and I am kind of excited for it.
yeah, if you're a platform fan, this is one of the good. This is what
I grew up with it.
The new save aspect is literally just saying they've modernized it so it's not like probably save point based like the old games were.
Yeah.
So you could save anywhere and put it down anywhere without having to worry about fighting to the next checkpoint or getting to the next thing. They've done that with a lot.
Auto save.
Yeah, they've done that with a lot of the remakes they release because it
People,
was a really good idea back in 1996 is not a very good idea now, and standards of how things save, so they always update the save system. So
Okay. Yeah, I never played Crash Bandicoot actually.
take that back.
I'm not a huge platformer in general.
he likes walking sims and point and click games.
I love point and click games.
Yeah, he liked that hard
Aren't
game.
most games point and click games though?
He just
When
he
you
just
think about it, really. Isn't it a first-person shooter? A
loves the
point-and-click game.
He loves using the mouse. That's it. It's just it's
Hands on.
League of Legends is a point-and-click game.
I rest my case.
Ghost Recon Wildlands, which Torzel was able to get into the closed beta on, but I don't think anybody else was, right? Didn't work for any of us, whoever he sent emails to. Anyways, they're going to have an open beta that's going to be starting February 23rd through the 27th, and that's, what, Wednesday? The 23rd? Something like that? Thursday through Sunday, probably, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I still think PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. Preloading will be available February 20th, which is Monday or Tuesday.
I'm gonna go back to what I was joking with Torn about when he got the invite and he gets he can invite all of his friends and shit, or like invite
All three of his friends.
people. Yeah. I still think Ubisoft does that just for the fact that they're trying to get people to pre-order. They give like one person the code and like, here, you can give it to 3 of your friends, and they never send emails out to get you in. So it's like, I really want to beta test it. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, they never. I sent in a support ticket. They never really responded. They just said,
They
yeah,
were so
we've been having-"
overloaded, probably.
Yeah, or probably.
They were like, "Fuck these."
And
things.
this
We're
is-
not
this is
dealing
not-
with
This is not the
Thank you
first
for
time.
your inquiry.
Yeah, this is
Fuck
not the
off.
first time either. They did the same exact thing during the Rainbow Six the betas. They did the same exact thing during the Division betas. You'd think they'd figure this shit out. They haven't.
No.
Well, that's weird. Their support ticket response is "eat a dick."
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Well, yeah, what is
We
that
don't-
about?
We don't fund our support ticket line.
Maybe you should have given that code to that friend. It's like, you know,
You don't have friends.
Yeah.
Come
your-
on.
Yeah, come on, you don't have 3 friends.
You don't have friends. You
Not
have a-
anymore.
I don't even think the codes work. I honestly think it just,
Well, they have an open beta the next week.
yeah, it's a joke. It's
Maybe the codes were for the open beta.
that or it's gonna happen. Like,
I am hoping they got the driving issues taken care of, and they're gonna have new open areas. So
I said
I'm
that,
not convinced they're going to fix driving that quickly.
yeah, they're not gonna fix driving that quickly.
we'll see.
I still think it was probably it's not optimized for keyboard and mouse controls. That's why it's so
That
long.
could be true, yeah.
So
I'll get my Steam controller out and see what it's like.
you got us so that my favorite thing. What happened to you, Saul? Tell them what happened to you with your For Honor.
Oh God. So I was after all of you guys got into the closed beta for For Honor and nobody gave me a key, I had to go and try and get my own. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting on the key, and then they sent me a key saying, "Hey, come and join the closed beta," the day after it closed. And so I went to click on it. I'm like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Join the open beta in a week."
That's Ubisoft
What
in
a
a
bunch of
nutshell.
dicks.
Look,
You
look,
get your invite a day after the event.
look. All I'm saying is, if you guys can't get into an open beta, it's not my fault.
It's okay.
We will be playing the open beta. That's
We
our
will be
game
playing
next
open
week for
beta,
sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely our game next week. I'm excited to try it out and see what the driving is like, since I've heard such horrible things.
I just want to see.
If it's still just as horrible, it's gonna be fun.
I just want to see.
Wait, you trust bone driving?
No, absolutely not. That's why I said it's gonna be fun.
I like the helicopters. That's my expertise.
Everyone out of the helicopter. Why? Bones driving.
Dude, everybody else is like, this helicopter control sucks. Bozo, this is fucking great, man. It's perfect.
We learned
Like the best
firsthand.
driver.
We learned firsthand in Arma, Bone cannot fly a helicopter. So
That's not true.
I will laugh my ass off if he can drive the helicopter perfectly fine and no one else can. It's
there's
like,
only one person here I trust flying helicopters, and that's Torn, because I played Battlefield 2 with him. So it's just,
I was good at flying helicopters in Battlefield 3, I think it was.
are you offended?
Are you triggered?
No.
I had my shit down in Battlefield 2.
Battlefield 2 Torn was a demon in helicopters. So.
I could put it between buildings in no time.
He was
Yeah,
good.
it was excellent.
It was annoying.
I haven't seen you do any vehicles in Battlefield 1.
Yeah, I
was-
don't really
yeah.
care for vehicles in Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
You just like killing teammates, that's all.
The planes in Battlefield 1. they're
It
not
doesn't
fun.
say you can't do that.
I am not.
Actually, it does when you get kicked
No,
off.
nowhere does it
That's
say
not what it's
don't
saying.
shoot your teammates.
I think
I'm
it
just
does.
putting that out there. I read the instructions very carefully.
You shot
The
anyone
instructions.
that
I
walked
have the
through
manual.
door.
I have the manual.
I still have the digital manual somewhere.
I got the physical copy just so I could have a manual. Do they even
Oh,
ship
that's right.
manuals with physical copies?
Nope.
Nope.
I think so.
Box
Yeah.
Install. Put in.
It's just
put
an
in
empty
PC.
box with a card and a digital download.
It is.
Go,
No, I'm not
go
kidding.
to
That's what it
Steam or
is.
go to Origin, insert code, and then buy.
It just says stop being a douche, get with it.
That's exactly how it is. I got the Dark Souls Collector's Edition, and it has the metal steel book and everything. I'm like, oh boy. Open it up. It's just a code.
Yes, it's a
I
code.
think they at least will give you a USB. stick
Enjoy
or
your
something.
box.
Yeah.
And here's the worst part.
Too
When
expensive.
you open up the case, it has a CD spot, like the whole clipping of a CD, but no CD. I was kind
I
of
want you to
pissed.
get the feel of the nostalgia without the hassle.
Yeah, it costs them too much money. That they go to a certain point.
It's
after
all
that.
the nostalgia without the scratches.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't they at least put like a just something?
They're doing that because it's for some grandma buying it for their grandson or something, you know.
No, they're doing it for the collectors. That's it.
Hi.
Yeah, so you can have a box.
I have the statue behind me.
That's it. They're just doing it for the collectors. The people that
Me.
want the actual physical representation. That's it.
Yeah,
This guy right here.
it's much, and they prefer it online because it's a much safer way to distribute it.
Because it's DRM. It's
Right. Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah, and if I die and I come back from the dead 3 days later, I could still reinstall my game. So
Well, it goes back. It was the whole remember 10 years ago where the all about DRM was being like such a major thing. It's DRM was the whole argument was a joke back then anyway, but now that's what it's evolved to. It's the main reason why they do it. Well, cost is one thing. It doesn't cost them anything. It's a lot cheaper.
It's server space.
But yeah.
it's
Second reason,
bandwidth and server space.
there's no EXE more or less anymore, so there's nothing really to hack, which to say. So you can't really download that. You can still do it. You can do anything if you know how to do it. But it's since you have to, it's a code you have to get through an actual game service. It's DRM built in.
Unless if it's
It's so much easier. Too.
vision.
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer to do it that way. I think
Yeah.
most people probably do.
Well, we're trading, like Torrent said to a point, we're trading it for convenience, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I can still pull out my copy of Battlefield 1942, drop it in, and play it. And generally speaking, I can play some of the games I bought back in like 2005 on Steam, just download it and play it. But the difference is if Steam ceases to exist, I can, technically speaking, I may not be able to play that game anymore, but I can still drop in Battlefield 1942 and play it. So
True that.
now whether I'd want to or not is a different story.
Okay.
That was way off.
All right. Yeah.
But it was
Tangent.
good. But it was good. So
Now-
a VidMe or vid.me user called Hip Hop the Robot uploaded a video of the initial setup of the Nintendo Switch, which has subsequently been taken down. Apparently, they received it accidentally when the people that they pre-ordered it from sent it out early. So he got his copy way early.
Whoops.
The one major point to note was that the OS actually takes up 6 gigabytes of the space where they only give you 32 gigabytes. So if you're downloading and installing the Zelda game, a huge chunk of it's gone with both the OS and the game itself.
Yeah, but didn't they already say that?
Yeah, they essentially said they're keeping the cost down by giving you less space. So go buy,
And
go buy,
Go buy that USB stick.
Yeah, go buy.
We
whatever
can
it's
pick
called.
up
Are you
100.
fucking kidding me?
You can pick up 128 one for under $60 sometimes.
Fucking under that.
So
Well, it's
it's
I
the
can
way to keep
understand. It
costs
brings
down.
back the memory cards. You know,
It's
from
a way to keep costs down. And most end users won't really care. They'll be like, all right, I'll go to Kmart or Walmart or whatever and pick one up.
well, it's better than them locking it down, saying you only get 32 gigs. No, nothing else.
Yeah, that's true. Like
And it's
Apple would
also
do.
it's actually easier solution than like the PS4 and Xbox One, where you have to actually dismantle it to upgrade the hard drive.
Right. And did you have to reinstall the OS and everything, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because you're putting a whole new hard drive in.
Yeah, but I think if you got their Prime or the your PlayStation Now or whatever it is, the actual service, everything's backed up basically on the cloud, so it's a lot easier to.
PlayStation Now is a little different than that. PlayStation Now doesn't back anything up. It's just you play the games on their server.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
So
I know it's.
having it for the PlayStation. You can play it on your computer now.
A friend of mine just did it, and he upgraded to like a 2 terabyte or he upgraded something, and he basically said it was cake compared to what the PlayStation 3 was. And he,
Oh yeah, it's a lot easier now.
with the actual the whatever to the PlayStation now, the actual paid service you have to go
Plus?
online, yeah, plus whatever it is, it's all cloud based. So his saves and everything where he basically had to make sure he backed up. But once he put the new drive in, he's like, I literally turned it on, it downloaded everything it needed to download, and it was
Good to go.
You need an 8 gigabyte USB stick. You need to put the software on it. You plug it into the system, detects it, it installs it, and then you have to just sit there for 3 days and update everything.
depending on your connection.
Yeah.
And you sit there for 3 days because Sony's servers are
Yeah,
sometimes
Sony's
shit.
end of it's slow. It's like Steam and me. Steam's end slower than me. What was I installing the other day?
Connect to Chicago. Connect to Chicago. Trust me, you'll be amazed.
Yeah, maybe. I can't imagine New York.
Trust me.
I mean, New York
But
is so much
trust me,
closer too.
Connect to Chicago. If I live like literally 2 hours from DC, and I will get like 1.5. I connect to Chicago, I get 3 to 6. It's an insane change.
I got like 8 from New York, but I thought I'd get more.
I
Oh,
could
I
get
have
like
to agree
12
with
from
Shadow on-
Seattle.
I have to agree with Shadow on this one because when I lived on the East Coast in Pennsylvania, I connected to Chicago.
I don't know what
I
it is.
connect to Seattle. I get 12 to 14
Serious
usually.
pipes.
Jeez.
Yeah, Chicago's got serious pipes, dude. Just connect to Chicago. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I will.
They pay the monies.
They must have like a really good server in Chicago. I don't know why.
That's
But
interesting.
Well, what was it? Riot moved their servers to Chicago.
from what I remember talking to Thick Anti about it a few years ago, and he said something about how Chicago's got like a really up-to-date infrastructure when it comes to the internet.
So they have
you
horrible
just-
crime. Or is that no? That's Detroit.
I mean, it's still Chicago still has some serious issues, but you know.
Oh, yeah.
They all do.
Yes.
All the
They have
cities.
great internet, but
It's sort of the downfall of a city.
Chicago's got serious crime issues, and they.
All right.
Baltimore. So.
okay. Moving on.
Yeah. So we had discussed Origin Access a while ago. You did it, right, Shadow, for a little for
Yes,
like a
I
month?
did.
Yeah. What was it? $7 a month?
It's $4.99 a
Oh, really? Okay. So you can get it right now and through March 7th for a free 7-day pass if you
Yep.
want. The bigger news, if you consider it bigger, is they added a $30 a year membership rather than the monthly installments. So you can pay a flat $30 and you get it for the whole year, which they've done on the Xbox One, I think, for a very, very long time.
So that's
And
half
everybody
price.
was
so-
asking, well, why don't they have this for the PC? Now they finally do.
I'm going to say this, and honestly, I think it's a fantastic deal. Origin Access is a pretty damn good idea when it comes down to it, and what you get for what you're paying, $30 a year, that ain't bad. You know, basically, you get to for a lot of these games, you're going to spend $30 for the brand new title anyway, and you can download it, play it, and there's no limit, no time, no anything. And I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean, all in all, I have to admit.
Yeah, just to give an idea of what's on there right now, Star Wars Battlefront's on there, Unravel, Mirror's
also
Edge
get-
Catalyst.
You get DLCs too, right?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Discount.
Usually, you get the base game, and they sometimes they'll give you extra stuff. But technically speaking, you own the game while you're on Origin or on the Access program. So if there's any deals, any
Yeah.
going on, it's like a multiplayer game, like with Battlefield. When I had it, Battlefield 4 was still out. Battlefield 1 was not out for like a year or whatever. It was like I picked it up right when it came out, and it was like they had like they currently had like all the free. One of the expansions was like, you know, not necessarily free, but it was the free to play at that point in time, and you could get on and play through it and not have an issue. So I mean, it's like all in all, like I said, it ain't a bad damn idea. So I mean,
It's kind of like how PlayStation did with PlayStation Plus, where there's so many free games a month. Once you claim that game, just put it in your cart. You claimed it. As long as you have Plus, you have the game.
not yes and no, because what they do is like they will change the games monthly.
Yes, but
So-
you can still have the game.
There's
Yeah,
some
but
old
once
games
the
on
game
here, too.
once the game changes, I don't think you have access to it.
You still do. I
Still
do. I have a
Alright,
whole
so-
library.
Yeah, until
Alright.
you stop playing it, then you probably lose it for good.
Nope.
So that's-
When you click and put it in the cart and click purchase,
You talking about Origin
You
Access or you talking about PlayStation?
I was
Origin
talking about
Access.
PlayStation on how it.
No,
you're talking
PlayStation's
about two different
completely.
things.
Yeah, we're not talking about PlayStation. We're
I know,
talking-
but I was just saying that's how. Like
Yeah, that's
Well,
how
that's how they do
PlayStation.
it. Yeah.
That's how PlayStation works. But what I'm saying in Origin, I'm pretty sure it's like a monthly rotation. They have like a set
so they're doing what
Um,
Nintendo's gonna do.
to a point, but they're
It's a
not
much
giving
larger
you.
library.
They're not giving you 30-year-old games that are 8.
It's not one.
Like
Yeah,
Dragon
it's
not
Age,
one
Dragon
game.
Age 2 is on Dragon Age, or the original Dragon Age is on this list. So they got some old games in here that probably they'll almost always be on there. It's probably some of their big hits, from
Yeah, and I mean they have like I said, it's all in all, it's not a bad idea. I mean, it really, I gave kudos to Origin or EA when they did it originally, and I have to say it's not that bad of a deal in the long run. And it's for $5 for a 30-day period. If you want to say you want to play, it's like a rental fee almost for PC.
Right.
I mean, for $5, I mean, I worked at Blockbuster for rental back in the day was $5.25. So I mean, for $5, you're basically getting access to most of EA's AAA titles. I mean, granted, if you don't like EA or all the issues, but they do make some decent games.
Now it's
And,
like what, 250?
It's 30 games right now. There's 30 games on here.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you could easily pay $5, download the newest Dragon Age Inquisition, which is still 2 years old, but it's considered a very, very good game. Completely play through it, beat it, have fun with it, and then not pay next month, and it's going to cost you $5.
Right.
And it's
Or Torchlight
20.
2 or
any of the games they have on there. So I
FIFA
mean,
16's on there.
soccer games. Woo. We should all do that. We should all download that right now and go play it.
I'll play it.
So,
I don't know
dude,
what
soccer's great.
I don't
Well,
know.
soccer game?
NASCAR.
What soccer game?
I love
FIFA
soccer.
16.
Didn't most all of us have Tiger Woods golf?
No.
What? Oh my goodness.
But either way, I'd say it's definitely not a bad idea. It really isn't. If you want to play anything that EA's got, check what they have, and then it's really not a bad deal. I have to give kudos to EA for it. So
All right.
Yes, sorry. I was typing. So in League of Legends news, and normally we don't talk about League of Legends too much. I try not to bring it up, but they finally released, after 9 years of the game, almost 9 years of the game being out, the practice tool, which is pretty cool. You can essentially do almost anything to practice. You can set your cooldowns to like nothing. You can give yourself a certain amount of gold. You can just go in and not have any items and just practice less hitting. You can set your cooldowns to nothing and just practice your flashes over walls and stuff. It's pretty cool. So if you play League of Legends, it's definitely worth checking out.
And the best part, the targets look like Teemo.
The targets look like Teemo. That's right.
So the dummies,
Yeah, the targets.
Yeah.
I did that with Draven. I did all Infinity Edges.
I just wanted to take out Teemo. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean,
I took down Baron by myself. Because
you can do silly things.
automatically gives you 0 cooldowns, so you can just keep continuing to hit W and Q with Draven, so you always have spinning axes and they're always sped up.
That's cool.
Cool story, bro.
sorry.
So there's 3 notable game releases this week. First one's For Honor, as we've somewhat talked about, and it's getting mostly 7s and 8s, which is pretty good. Halo Wars 2 also came out. That's getting 8s and a few 9s, from what I could tell. There was like 166 in there out of 100, but it could just be the person didn't like that type of game. I didn't read too in depth on it, but mostly 8s and a few 9s. And then Sniper Elite 4 also came out, and that was 7s. And a few 8s here or there as well, in that range. You love For Honor. Oh, you got it on PS4. That's cool. Did anybody else get it? I thought JT was going to get it, or did get it. I haven't talked to him about it, though.
I don't know. I thought JT said he wasn't going to end up getting it.
I didn't get to play it.
I played it. I wasn't a huge fan. Essentially, my take on it is that it's a fighting game. There's attacks, blocks, parries. It's just sort of a third, behind isometric almost view versus, normal
Yeah, it's
2D.
it's a
type
third-person isometric view over the shoulder. It isn't bad, and it's definitely getting a better. I think it's definitely getting decent because I've seen it popping up around. A lot of people showing off a lot of stuff about it, but
Oh, yeah.
there was some major issues with it that I didn't like. I didn't like the whole aspect. It's a peer-to-peer game, and
that's
what was it? And that means whoever's basically hosting it is going to have the best, ability to have best response. I didn't like the
It
fighting.
can be okay, but it can be also terrible.
I think that if they and this is just me being critiquing asshole, but I think if they, yeah, I know, right? I don't like the whole combo system they added to it. To me, it felt really just meh. I like the basic combat system with like the whole block and parry thing, but it didn't feel, it was slow. It didn't feel very responsive. And then they added all these like, fighting combo shit with like, it's like forward, back, half circle shit. And it's just like, it kind of just.
Wait, really?
It's a fighting game.
Yeah. It's a fighting game.
It's a fighting game.
When they first were showing off, they didn't have combos like that.
Yeah, the whole game is based around basically.
They had more indicators on like when a swing was coming, so you had more time to quickly.
Well, that's the basic combo system. It's a three indicator system: high attack, left attack, or high left right attack system, and it's all about basically switching your attack. And if the other person is blocked or uses the block on that aspect, they could stop it. But it's also all about it. The combo system based into it was using basically a fighting game, forward, back, forward, and then the different combos. And your whatever character you're using will do a combo attack, which just basically would be a more faster paced attack. And
I felt like you got to run around and then you had to slow down to do combat.
Yeah,
I want to just go ape shit on people.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
And,
Block, parry, swing.
in the original gameplay videos, that's what it was. It was like going straight into combat and taking on people.
Well, it's just like it like I said, it's a pure fighting game in that aspect. It's just like if you play any.
Ruins it.
There's different game modes. There's some game modes are very much like a fighting game, and the other game modes, like, is it called Conquest or something like that? That's a little bit more, I don't know, arcadey or something. That's not quite as fighting gamey.
Like I said,
as the other one is.
It really, part of me really wanted to like me because it looks
Like
good.
me?
Or I like the game. I'm sorry. Part of me really wanted to like the game because I like the look of it. I like the feel of it. I like the grittiness they have. I mean, it really looks awesome.
I like the finishing moves.
Like I said, it just felt so slow. Now I'm sure once you've mastered the character and you know all the combos and all the stuff like that, it's probably a hell of a lot more fun. But it definitely didn't. It felt like something I just wanted to pick up and, like Torrance said, beat the living shit out of things. And it just didn't feel that intuitive that you could do it. And it would probably be a lot like playing anybody that's played any fighting game on like any of the platforms, like Street Fighter or anything like that. When you're just sitting around playing with your friends and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, it's a lot of fun. Then you go, let's go online and play.
Yeah.
And some fucking 13-year-old Korean kid whoops the shit out of you in 3 seconds. And you're just sitting there like, I thought I knew how to play this game.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, it's just you're like struggling to do a simple attack, and they're literally like flying around the ring at 300 miles per hour, beating your ass, and it's just like, oh yeah, I don't. It's really fun for them, and it's really painful for you. So I could easily see that game going into that, and I just.
No, but no, it does catch my interest. I don't know if I pick it up $60, but because like I said, I watched some game clips because I couldn't get into the beta at all. They wouldn't send me it, or they did what they did to Saul, where they sent it after the beta finished. I got one of those.
Here's your beta invite. It was awesome.
Pretty much. But I watched the one clip.
Here's Ubisoft thinking of you.
I watched just one clip that I thought was amazing, where it's 1v3 and this guy's just destroying them, blocking, parrying, like just moving around, and it's literally he had no teammates left, so it's just him versus 3 of the enemy team, and he took 2 of them out. They said the video goes on for a really long time, but I had to leave, so I couldn't finish it.
Well, see, it goes right back to the whole fighting game aspect. It's definitely a purely, I hate to say it, but it's a skill-based game.
Yeah, but we didn't get to play like the single player or anything like that. If it had a really decent single player story, it'd be worth more than.
Who plays? I hate to say.
I
this.
do.
We know Bone doesn't from Dirt Showdown. There's more cars to unlock.
I don't play a lot of single player. On multiplayer focused games, I don't normally play the single player. Is there a single player for Battlefield 1?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't even.
There is.
Yeah.
I assumed there was, but I didn't know for
I just
sure.
haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it.
I just, the single player. I don't get games anymore for single player. If I do, it's particularly because it's a single player game.
JRPG.
I mean,
Well, that's not why I get a game, but I can certainly appreciate a decent storyline in a campaign.
I guarantee it's not going to be a storyline in a campaign, and if it is, that game is designed for multiplayer. The single player is tacked on afterwards. It's like Star Wars Battlefield, or Battlefront. They're finally adding a single player game to it. It's going to be shit. It's going to be the multiplayer maps with like some over fucking stupid storyline to it that isn't going to. It's probably going to be ripped right out of a movie.
Blaze through it really quickly.
Yeah, and 8 hours tops if you're a retard. 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours if you have any FPS experience, like every other single player campaign.
Why do these games always take me so long?
I never understood the complaint about Battlefield not having a single player. It's a multiplayer game. I don't play whatever The Witness and be like, wow, why isn't this a multiplayer? Why isn't the multiplayer part of this game?
This would be so great if I had a friend to walk with me through the woods.
Not every game has to have multiplayer and single player. It could be just one or the other. But that's a different issue.
Yeah, it's just like I said. Benthans, I'll agree with you. Maybe if that game goes down to like $20 or something where you could pick it up really cheap, I might pick it up just to have to fuck around with. But I can't see something.
And I generally don't like fighting games, and that's essentially what this is.
Yeah.
So it's just not my style.
Don't get me wrong, a lot of games. You just like walking sims.
And
What
point
if
and click
I like
adventures.
point and click? Yeah.
And if it's a walking sim with the point and click adventure bit, stay the fuck out of his way.
Yeah.
No,
Like
Legend point and clicks and walks at the same time.
like what was that? Firewatch. That was a walking point and
And
click.
oh my god.
He punch a
I
baby
really
to
liked
get
that
that
game
game.
too. It was really good. I liked that. Let's move
The
on.
day that came out, Piper went to bed at like 4:00 in the afternoon because Daddy.
Daddy, the sun's not even down yet. I don't care, baby. Get to bed.
I finished that game in one stream. So I started at 8 and
I know.
ended at like midnight. That was a quick game, but it was only $20, I think. That's a good one. Check it out. So we're gonna move on to two quick pieces of movie news. The first one, and this is sort of two parts, is that there's rumors floating around that Ben Affleck not only stepped down as director of the new Batman movie that they're going to make at some point, but that he wants to drop out or get out of being Batman completely. He no longer wants to be the Batman.
Ben Affleck knows when the ship is sinking.
That is my thought as well.
All I gotta say about that is, and it's just, I know, Bone, you've been talking about it. What does that tell you about the rest of the movies being released in that universe?
It's scary.
Yeah, it's
Has he seen an advanced copy of Wonder Woman and been like,
that's what I'm
fuck.
thinking. He's seen it and he's like, wow, I need to get the fuck away from this project before I'm really tied to it.
I mean, as a fan of that universe, it's really sad to see them not gain any traction whatsoever.
Yeah, I really like DC Universe.
especially after the last Batman trilogy? It was so good, and then they just bombed since then.
They did such a good job actually representing what Batman's supposed to be. Instead of this like raspy hoarse, I just got a cold, I'm getting over it voice, they put a voice modulator on him, which is what he was supposed to have. He was all about technology and advancements.
Wait, which Batman are we talking about? You're talking about
the Ben Affleck Batman.
Okay, because I heard the trilogy.
Batfleck.
Batfleck.
Yeah,
Yeah, when we hear
Ben Affleck's
when you're
Batman.
talking about the trilogy of Batman, you're talking about the raspy guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I heard. So I'm just
That's
like,
what
wait.
he's been, but the way that Ben Affleck played him and the things that he had with him were actually a little bit
I
more
liked his Batman.
adaptation.
It was
Give
just a
him
terrible
voice
storyline.
made him have a deeper voice so they couldn't tell who he was.
Batman? You didn't like it?
I loved it.
Well, I think there was some conflicts with probably him being the director, and he got into it with them, and then that's why he just wants out of it.
He couldn't get Matt Damon to help him write it.
Yeah, or
Help
something. But then he's like, "Well, if I can't direct, fuck you. I'm not going to do the part. I'm not."
I don't
gonna
think he
fuck
wanted
all
to
of it."
direct.
Ryan Reynolds.
He didn't want to direct. Like he's the one that he didn't get like ousted. He stepped down, and then they had to go look for somebody to direct. It's not like they instantly had somebody to replace him.
I mean, like they had nobody wanted to work on it. He's like, "Fuck it, I guess I'll do it." Or
Like I said, I got that feeling that it could be a telling tale. I mean, realistically speaking, the Batman versus Superman really did not live up to its expectation. And
But see, that's not his fault. Everybody know, even he knows that everybody thinks it's not his fault.
it's not the aspect that it's his fault. It's like I think it was Beth. It's the writing that's the problem.
Yes,
The
I always
writing
say that.
is very, very bad.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I watched Suicide Squad. It was not a good movie.
I haven't seen
The
it
writing
yet.
is terrible.
It was
awful.
literally just like, what the fuck is going on? The only character I thought they got right was the government chick, the black chick. She was fucking perfect. They couldn't find a
Phenomenal
better.
at everything she does, though.
But it's like every other character was just stupid. I'm sorry.
I
It was
disagree.
I don't think the characters were stupid. I just think they were in a bad universe. Like,
it was just
story was
horrible
weak.
writing.
The story was weak.
Story.
But I don't think the characters were
They
bad.
added scenes that they probably shouldn't have added because how well Deadpool did on the comedy aspect. And
I'm not even gonna blame it on Deadpool.
don't blame it on Deadpool.
What I'm saying is
Deadpool's
that
awesome.
if you do a movie, okay, you write it, it's in post production, it's more or less done,
Yep.
and some other studio releases a movie and it does well, and you go, maybe I should go back and change it. That right there, that's a problem.
No,
All right,
that's
if
what I'm
if
saying.
you're
They
trying
fucked
to
up because
take
of that.
what you've already done because somebody else did something. You got a
Suicide
serious
Squad?
problem. with your
Suicide
writing.
Squad, yeah.
We're talking about how Suicide Squad screwed up because after they finished filming and going into the post production, they decided to film more because how well Deadpool did.
Well, people
They
people
changed
say that, but I
They're
doubt
not
that's
denying it.
true. Yeah, I think they did.
I mean, why does he? I mean,
It's not like
If
they went
it's
back
just
and
a
made
matter
it
of-
rated R. It was still a PG-13 movie. And
it's
movies
so-
will oftentimes have to reshoot scenes. That's pretty common. I don't think
Yeah.
Deadpool had anything to do with that. That happens, with almost every movie.
I
It
know
was
that I'm
just-
watching
I'm
tonight.
sorry, it was stupid.
I thought that the writing was bad.
Plot was stupid.
Yeah.
I think they
The
made a
editing was
decision to
bad.
take a lot of the Joker out, and then they needed some filler.
They didn't
So
even
they
need to have the Joker
He
in
didn't
there.
need to
It
be
felt
in
like
the
the
movie.
most
That's true.
tactful bullshit of it's like, hey, we got the Batman, let's put the Joker in there too. And it's like, why the fuck is he even in the
But
movie?
but you could also argue that they're setting up for future movies similar to what like Avengers is doing.
Yeah. They just
Well, they
wrote
They
it
have a
badly.
few of those like those keynote or those side notes in there for the next set of movies.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, but-
mind the quick cameos.
One of the things I gotta this is an issue I have with a lot of Hollywood writing though, to a point though. It's instead of focusing on what they have in front of them, they're worried about the 10 movies down the line. It's not let's come up what we're worried about.
It's a brand. It's a product.
Yeah, well, but the
You
thing
have
is
to be
that
worried about those down the line.
And
it's not.
especially with something like comic book movies, you have to worry about continuity because
Yeah.
people are going to call you out so much faster.
People are gonna call
than
you
everything
out.
else.
People are gonna call you out on comic
Comedy Atmos?
comic book movies, no matter what it is. The hardcore fucking fans are still bitch about the fucking Marvel movies not following things.
Which
100%.
one?
That's a symptom of
so-
profit motive, though. The whole thing is a brand, and we have to look down the road. How long can we take this? Who's we going to get investments from on the next 4 films? It's all a symptom of that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
Merchandising,
I'm not saying the brand isn't important, but I'm saying is that you have it just because your brand is the DC universe and you have 40 years of fucking material to work with doesn't mean your movie has that kind of credence. You have to actually set it up.
But my point is that they aren't able to just focus and do something really good because they always have to be worried about what's going to come next.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that isn't something they shouldn't be worried about, but they shouldn't spend 2/3 of the movie worrying about the next movie. Make the first movie good, and there will be others. Make the first movie shit, and nobody's gonna fund the next
I'm not
movie.
even
But
sure
if
they
you-
were
if
thinking
you
about the
take-
next movies in 3/4.
That's
I don't
what I'm
think they
afraid
did
about.
anything in the 3/4 of the movie.
If you take that movie and you kill off half the characters trying to make a good movie out of it, you've killed off half the characters. You can't really continue very easily without resurrecting them and retconning.
Well, they did kill.
The problem
off
is they
half
killed
the
one
squad.
character without even introducing him.
You're
That was my
Slipknot.
problem.
10 seconds later, there's Slipknot.
The guy that flew off and all of a sudden now he's dead.
Who is this guy? It doesn't matter. He's dead.
Someone said he actually played a pretty big role in that series.
Everybody got a special ability. My ability is I'm a Boy Scout and I can tie ropes. So I don't know. It's just it kind
I
of
don't know. We keep going about Suicide Squad, and I don't know why. I think he did a fine Batman.
Yeah. I like
I-
his
Is it that they're just not going to give on the story that's been written?
Maybe. I
Is
mean, we
that
don't
the
know what
problem?
goes on behind the scenes. Something is, though, clearly.
So is it guaranteed that he's not going to be doing Batman, or he's just
It's a rumor right now.
voice that he doesn't want to do it?
Several people close to the situation who are fairly
Insiders
credible.
apparently have
Yeah,
said he wants to get out.
maybe they won't let him.
He signed
You already
some-
cast a check, sucker.
I'm assuming he signed some sort of a large contract, especially if he's in the Justice League movie. Who knows what happened with the Justice League movie? I mean,
Yeah, well, what are they
there's
gonna do
huge
about
ripples in this.
I'm not excited for that.
I'm going.
Probably because of Cyborg. I'm not really excited about Cyborg.
The Cyborg movie should be good if they do it right.
No, it just looks so bad.
I'm going
They
with
should
my.
have taken the Teen Titans route with that one. Teen Titans movie.
No.
I'm going with my original statement, which is Ben Affleck probably has seen some of the stuff that nobody else has seen, and he's kind of going, "Yeah, this ain't gonna fucking make it. This is."
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm getting the fuck off the boat now before it hits the iceberg and starts sinking because
Well, yeah, he had to have had
And then
an
Celine Dion
advanced.
starts playing.
honestly, with the way these movies have been going with DC, it's already hit the fucking iceberg, and now it's kind of like capsizing. It's slowly, they're desperately bailing, trying to make something out of it. But the truth of the matter is,
They're keeping it quiet, whatever it is.
He needs to bail on Batman, and they need to pick him up for a Marvel movie, and he can be like Cable or somebody like that. He's getting older. He can play Cable.
We'll just let him go. We'll just let him go.
I kind of wonder if when he first signed the contract, if he thought, I'm going to be this cool Batman, and then he ended up being old man Batman, and he was kind of upset about that.
I like the older
Yeah, I
Batman.
thought he played it great, and he seems to enjoy it.
if that's
Such a
his,
great Batman was attractive.
I think it's cool that he had to rely on like bionics and on things like that,
Well, he
just
was also
because.
going up
that's-
against Superman.
That's
and
what
then-
he does.
Oh yeah, but he's not exactly the same athletic sport that
I
he
like
was before.
He was
He
pretty,
relies on his
beastly looking.
to be able to combat the enemies. And that's what they personified best in him in that latest movie is the voice modulator. That it wasn't some raspy, "Oh, I came to kill you." It was a voice modulator. It changed.
I'm Batman.
Made him sound.
If I talk really low, you won't know it's me.
He relied on his inventions and his gadgets.
Hold on,
Well,
we are talking
Bruce?
about,
Bruce?
we are talking
I'm
about
not
a
Bruce.
universe here where the main character, the main superhero in the universe fools the entire world with a pair of fucking glasses. Okay, so I think a guy talking in a raspy voice isn't really. They probably fucking
Your mom's name is Martha too?
Yeah, I just
the point is that
Spoilers.
that
I like how-
Superman was in that story, and the way that they have been doing Batman is not how he was in that story. That's a very small detail that you could get right.
Well, I'm
And
not saying they didn't. I like the aspect of going back to Batman being more of a super genius and basically with the big wallet.
Well, like he's a super
know.
genius and he's got all the computers and everything, but he didn't know Superman's mom's name was fucking Martha.
Well, because
He's got all these files on all these people and he doesn't know fucking Superman's mom's name is Martha.
I hate to say it, but that's like a game breaker right there when you deal with Batman, because Batman's entire like thing in that universe is the only thing that separate. The reason Batman is Batman in that universe is he's smarter than all the other people.
Yeah, it's okay he's a human because he's pretty fucking smart.
It's when the Justice League is all brawn, no brain. So it's like when they need to figure shit out, they go to Batman, and Batman already knows what the fuck's going on. He's already.
They're all, what are we gonna do? He's like, what? They already know he's gonna be asked to.
He's that. It's like from like our generation toward. He's the one where it's like the parents are big and strong, but the kid programs the VCR. Batman is the kid. He's the one that does all the technical shit, and he figures the stuff out. Then he points and tells Superman where to go punch.
but yet Batman was super strong and pretty brutal.
Yeah, but
Not
that's
strong
because
enough.
No. I mean,
Well, you don't really have to explain to Superman how to stop a train. He can do that on his own. He didn't require a lot of physics and momentum and things like that.
That's
Explain
a
to him.
difference, though. Superman can stop the train by just flying over to it and stopping it. Batman doesn't worry about stopping the train because he figures out the train's going to be going too fast and stops it before it starts moving. He's a lot more proactive than reactive. Superman's like always reactive. The bad shit happens. and
He
then-
just stands in front of it and goes like this.
Yeah.
Okay. The other
So,
piece of
none shall pass.
the other piece of DC rumors is that Mel Gibson is in the running to direct Suicide Squad 2.
How they got a sequel? How the fuck did they do that?
Oh,
It's just
they can no
it's
longer
just
hire
7 people
directors,
up
they
on
must get
crosses.
actors.
No, he's a
He
great
directed
director.
before.
He
I hate
did.
I
to
know
say
he
this.
directed, but come on.
He
I-
just
It
did,
can't get any worse.
what's
Suicide
the-
Squad 2. It can't get any worse.
Hacksaw Ridge he just did, and that's up for an Oscar, right? For director.
That's true. No, he did a good job
He's
with
sort
that.
of
Mel-
being accepted back into the fold by Hollywood.
Mel
after his-
Gibson is a
Probably
crazy,
sobered up.
psychotic
He probably
motherfucker,
did.
but
Well,
he's
then
a,
maybe he should do Suicide
but
Squad.
he's a damn good
It
director.
could be very dark, like it needs to be. It
And I
needs
don't
to be a
see
dark movie.
Problem was with the first
Suicide Squad. What we should have done in the first place.
He's a fantastic director, but if they don't get the right writers,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's a sinking ship.
Who was I think they were tapping
Maybe that's
David
why they're
Ayers again.
maybe that's why they're picking Mel Gibson.
I think they were tapping David Ayers again to do one.
If Suicide Squad sucks really bad, they're like, "Well, it's Mel Gibson." What do you
This
say?
is what they.
What
We
did
were
you
trying to
expect?
be nice to him.
They just need.
This guy doesn't even like Jews. I mean, what are we gonna do?
He wouldn't stop sleeping on my porch. I had to give it to him.
They
That's right. We tried suing him, but he wouldn't leave, so we just gave him a job for Suicide Squad.
Way to
I
give
am
us something.
excited.
Literally, we put him on the Suicide Squad.
So,
No?
DC really just needs to admit and know when they're defeated, like Fox did, and just go crawling up to DC or Marvel, Disney, and just go, please, just
Please
make
help
our
us.
movies. Make our
bring a
movie,
little bit
please.
of life into our franchise.
The Aquaman movie looks like it's going to be good.
We
though.
won't tell anybody.
Jason
He
Momoa
looks
is
like-
badass as it is.
How do you
in
make
this.
Aquaman look badass? Oh yeah, he's the son of Poseidon. That's right.
Well, they put Jason Momoa as which was the first thing that they did right, and then the second thing is it shows. I mean, Aquaman really did have a lot of good power sets.
Well, yeah, it's
They're
just
gonna
how
show
they
his powers.
Justice League
Look,
is going
they're
to be
one-
Aquaman stories were written.
Justice League
They're
is
one
going to
good
be-
movie away from fucking. They're one blockbuster away from getting back on track.
Yeah,
Come
if
on.
Justice
I
League,
don't-
if Justice
And
League
Aquaman
works,
may be that.
if Justice League works, they're gonna make them all.
I
I don't think Wonder Woman it matters either way. I hope it's good because I want it to be good.
Because
I
Gal
still-
Gadot is sexy.
Okay.
I still think their best bet and what they might end up going to do Injustice. I think that's their best bet. Just take the Injustice storyline, have Superman go fucking crazy, and
I think they're headed. It seems like they're headed in
Do
that
that.
direction already.
because I mean that's honestly I think that's the best bet because that would be extremely dark and gritty. It would be something you haven't seen out of Hollywood because Superman's always been the hero, the good guy. It would be great to see him as the completely psychotic, villain to a point, and it would just be then you could have. I mean, it's literally a great storyline to run with. I don't know why they haven't really. Maybe they are leaning towards that, but that's definitely where they should go. If
Well,
they
they
want
killed
to,
him.
if they want to compete with Marvel, that's the direction to head towards. Head towards Superman snapping and becoming the dictator.
Bizarro.
I don't
It's not
know.
even bizarre, dude. If you haven't read Injustice, go read
Injustice
Injustice.
is very good.
Injustice.
I don't know
have
if they're
the
gonna
game
go that
plan
way.
for that line. But
I mean,
they
that's
killed him off, so they have a million different directions they can go with it when they come to the next one.
I don't know. I think we're gonna see something or hear something announced after Logan comes out. That's just my guess. Logan's gonna be gritty, dark, in a way.
and R-rated.
Apparently, like
So
there's a lot of
so
scenes of
basically,
limbs being chopped off in that
fight
movie.
back on that.
Yeah, I watched a review.
Yeah.
On
and,
what?
He said it was just limbs and blood everywhere. It was so worth. It was amazing.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm
And
super
we're
excited.
gonna go back to the aspect of that's how you do it right.
Yes.
Now let's look at DC and show you how not to do it.
Well, they're
Yes,
PG-13
yes,
movies.
excellent.
You can't compare them. It's different.
I'm not arguing the aspect they're PG.
Bullshit. Yes, you can.
I'm saying it goes. It's the writing, it's the character development, it's how they're approaching things. They do
Dude,
something.
14-year-olds are gonna watch Logan and go, "Why is this rated R?" I don't understand. What,
I
Is
don't
that a naughty
understand why.
word? I guess that makes.
I don't
sense.
understand why. Like, oh, the movie was PG-13. It can't compete to an R. I call bullshit because look at Toy Story and like Disney
No,
movies.
no, I don't mean
They're
like
fucking
story
amazing.
wise. I'm talking about like limbs being chopped
completely
off. And stuff
different.
like
They
Oh,
always
completely different.
the PG-13 aspect is always a move. They always want to release movies PG-13 because they can get the teeny boppers in there, and that's one of the driving markets for the actual
The
movies.
parents and the kids.
Exactly.
More ticket sales.
When you-
I'll bring Piper to see Wonder
R-rated-
Woman. I can't bring her to see Logan.
Yeah, when you put R-rated movies,
Well, you could.
Hey, Mike, want to go see Deadpool?
Yeah, exactly.
you gotta realize a lot of parents will throw their kids $20, $30.
Daddy, why is he taking it in the ass?
Drop their
happened
ass
in
off at the movies. You don't need to do that with the PG-13. You can just drop them off at the PG-13 movie. If it's a NC-17, they have to have an adult in order to get inside that theater, and that's the key thing. That's why a lot of the times what they did primarily in the late 90s and early 2000s was they'd release the PG-13 in the theaters, and then they'd release the R rating on the DVD on the fucking VHS,
Or the not yet rated version.
which was almost always the R rated. It was the not
yeah.
rated means we had all the shit we had to cut in order to get it PG-13.
Yeah.
That's all that was.
They just
Yep.
didn't send it to the
So-
board to get it rated.
Violence, nudity, excessive language. Those are the three things that they'll cut to get to
Yeah.
get
Blood and gore. Excessive.
because there's
It's
like
not
there's
even violence; it's excessive violence.
yeah, and it's like it goes back to like the like a good example of it would be Kill Bill. The main reason why they did the black and white scene at the end of Kill Bill was to get the lower rating, because black and white, the blood doesn't look real.
Didn't they actually
So-
call it glorified violence in the past?
It's the whole rating system's bullshit to begin with.
It gives
It's-
you an idea of what it is. but
Yeah.
And,
You know, it's
and
bullshit.
depending on what studio you are, you can probably pay them some money if you really wanted to get something.
And like I said,
You
if
know?
you really boil it down, it's the ratings have only been, for anybody who doesn't know, ratings have only been around since the mid 80s. That's when the rating system really kicked in. And the late 70s, early 80s it was a big push forward in Washington to make it.
Washington?
Yes, Washington. yeah.
Washington for the rest of us.
Washington.
So, but it's you know, you look back at like the one of the big things is Midnight Cowboy, which is just about male prostitution, and it's considered one of the an excellent. But I'm saying that's the whole plot of Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah.
It's X-rated. There's like
And
literally nothing bad in the movie, but the reason it got an X rating was because of the actual subject matter.
Yeah.
That's and
Prostitution.
Well, if
Yeah,
you go back
which-
and look at like the original ones compared to now,
yeah,
things get
It's-
R that would never have gotten R previously.
It's-
It's
you
a
go
tool.
back-
It's a
you
tool
go
to
back-
use, but that's
you go back to the
It's
80s.
usefulness.
There's movies like there's some of the really like raunchy like teen comedy style movies are PG-13 from the fucking 80s,
Mhm.
and that has like full frontal nudity and a whole bunch of other shit that would
Yeah.
get R ratings today because people got more of a stick up their ass to a point.
well, I think they refined the system a little more as part of it.
I think
Anyways,
the stick is just
we're
bigger
off-
now.
We're off. We're off track. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring it back.
Bringing it back.
So this is sort of a tech and movie thing, and then we'll move on to two trailers that we have. IMAX has unveiled their first VR experience center, in quotes, in Los Angeles. The first of many that they hope that we'll have. The Los Angeles Center will have 14 pods. Each of them will have an HTC Vive, a Starbreeze Star VR headset, which is a different type of VR headset, and a D-Box Cinema chair, which is like this special chair that moves and stuff, I believe. They're also going to have physical controllers and a wearable vibrating sub-pack vest. So you can wear the VR headset without being connected to anything other than your vest. The media content will be less feature-length movies, and it's going to be more about like VR experiences. It's a $7 to $10 ticket for a package that features content like John Wick Chronicles, mountain climbing, flying, and others. Sounds interesting.
You said John Wick, and you immediately got Saul's attention.
So I'm assuming John Wick is like you're going through and shooting people. I'm assuming.
That's great. Yeah,
But it sounds like a cool idea.
The John Wick experience, first person shooting people. Remember, like when Call of Duty 2 came out originally, and the whole thing was the beginning where you were mowing down people at the airport, and how it was so morally wrong. You're gonna make a virtual reality thing for John Wick where it's the same fucking thing.
Or you're
That'd
playing
be awesome.
I think they should have a skills test where you attempt to change your emotion. It'll be super hard.
All I can see
It's a
is
Keanu.
stab at Keanu.
Ah.
She hates Keanu Reeves.
it's
for
a
those at home.
3D. It's a virtual reality thing, right?
Yeah,
VR thing?
yeah, it's VR.
Yeah, it's VR.
It's a vomit comet. If it pays $7 to get sick.
Well, it depends on it depends on your individuality and how long you do it for.
It's
Is it 2 hours? Because
The people I
Well, is it going to be a specialized thing? Is it going to be? I mean, it's an IMAX experience, so the screen's got to be.
not if you're wearing a fucking
it's just
VR.
it's just an HTC Vive or a Starbreeze.
Yeah,
which
But
I
then
don't
it's
know
just
anything about.
it's just vanilla VR. It's not
It's
IMAX
just regular
experience.
VR.
The people
No, but-
I feel sorry for are the cleanup crews after who have to sweep up the aisle.
It's just a
Probably
guy
a
back there
bucket.
smoking a cigarette with a mop.
There's a bucket next to
Waiting
him.
for you to get out of there.
They probably have a button where they hit the button and it rotates pods.
It's like real life Viscera
They just flip a
cleanup.
switch and they flip a switch, nozzles come out and spray the whole room down.
Bucket?
And the giant blowers.
That's
Yeah.
I'm
This
sorry.
room will be dry in 4 minutes.
That's the one thing you hear. Now, whether it's true or not, I have no idea. But the one thing you generally hear a lot about the VR is that particular point. It really can fuck with people on a motion sickness level. So
Yeah.
if you're prone to motion sickness and you're using a VR system, there's a chance you're, and especially if it's not set up just for just.
What
for
about the
asking
people that
sex.
have seizures? No one's
How
in there
do
but
people-
them.
We don't know if he's having a good time.
Yeah, he must be having a good time because there's all kind of a ruckus going on in there.
We being attacked by a zombie?
That'd be terrible. No
We
one's
have a
in there. You
zombie
have a
apocalypse
seizure or something.
over here?
I wonder if you have to sign some kind of waiver that says if you have a seizure and die, they're not responsible.
Without a doubt, there's going to be like something, it'll be like, it won't be a waiver. It'll be just like along the lines of
By purchasing
realize
this ticket.
by purchasing this ticket, you're waiving any and all legal responsibility.
No, you don't waive anything anymore. You agree to the terms of service.
But you're waiving the ability to.
It's like
Yeah,
going
sue,
through
basically.
Laser Tag Arena where they have to go over the whole spiel of everything. No running, no this, no that. We're not responsible if you hurt
If you're
your leg.
feeling ill,
Yeah.
take it off. Yeah,
It still strikes me as one of those things. It sounds like a really, really good idea on paper, but in practice, it's going to be fucking horrible.
I don't know. I can see it working.
I don't know.
It's just everybody getting sick everywhere.
Yeah, and then
It's
somebody
hard to be
slips on it.
But for
It's gonna be
people
awful.
that don't have $600-$700 for a VR system,
You're-
this gives them a chance to do it for $7 to $10.
Who here remembers the movie Stand By Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember the bit where they were talking about the pie eating contest? And he's like, the one guy throws up, and the next guy throws. That's going to be the new IMAX experience. Is the
Glass
person
walls.
next to you.
They give you a complimentary meal beforehand.
Oh.
It's the Goonies VR experience, and then I threw up all over.
I'm just saying that's going to be what happens for the IMAX experience. It's going to be
Gross.
just,
All right.
We won't know until it actually